I'm on the air. Real quiet like that is good. Hey guys, we're live. Just getting things set up, getting my daughter set up over there because nobody's home right now while I'm doing the radio show. So she's down over there. And hey, Uncle Dave is here. Field Guy is here. Niall Parkinson is here. Good to see you guys. So, excuse me. Wow, that's a great thing to do on air. Of course, we're not on the radio yet, but we're getting there.
The kitty's gonna snuggle me up.
There you go. Okay, Ellie's gonna go sit over there. When you hear Mom and everybody come in, just be quiet when you exit, okay? All right. Okay. The darkness has what, Field Guy? What has the darkness done? Hey, Master Finn. Good to see you, Matt Finn. Glad you're here tonight. Okay, I think we're set. I think we are set to roll. Boom. There it is. How's everybody's Christmas preparations coming along? Yeah, that's not far out now. 3 weeks. I just yawned in your face, Niall. How was that? I'm sitting here and subconsciously, not even subconsciously, physically yawned, subconsciously didn't think about it. In your faces. You're all boring me to tears. Maybe that's it, huh? So, all right. That's okay. Field Guys is going to watch the Saints game while we're here. So, boom. Roy Palvido. Good to see you, brother. Kind of cool having you in here. Nice to see you, brother. Grumpy Stack is here. And folks, as you all know, Elderberry, there's Elderberry. Wakey, wakey. Yeah, I just yawned in everybody's face. Okay, we're going to go live on the radio station in about 15 seconds. So we're going to go dark until we do. Stand by.
The Intrepid radio program with Scotty Roberts. Intelligent talk.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the program. This is Scotty Roberts. I'm your host here on this here my show, the Intrepid radio program, over here on the Subspace Radio Network. Just go to subspace.radio and you'll be able to hear the audio version of this show. Or if you join me on my YouTube channel, as some of you already are, or over on Facebook on a couple of different channels over there, you'll be able to see this show, not only hear it in audio, but see it in its video format. And so come on over. I'd say to the YouTube channel is going to give you the best chat room that's available. If you'd like to join the live chat room. And boy, I hope that had sound when it went out, because I wasn't hearing a single thing, by the way, when my intro was playing. So that's kind of odd that I didn't hear anything. So hopefully that's all fine. I will just check my audio settings while we're in here. Yeah, it's all set. It's all built in. It's all right. So I hope things are going well over there on your end of the show. Got to turn my screen just a little bit to check the audio ports. Yeah, I think we're good. Something was wonky there, and I don't know what it was. So anyway, onward and forward. I'm not hearing any complaints. I hear everybody saying we heard it. That's good. Hey, Roger Rabbit, thank you. Appreciate that. Best chat room, best company, said Niall Parkinson about this here chat room on this here show. Thank you, Niall, all the way from Ireland, says this is the best chat room. So there you go. Let's see. Everybody's starting to gather over there in the chat room. So thank you for coming. If you are just listening to the show or just hanging in the wings, come on in. Come on in and you can be part of the chat room too. Join the conversation. And so as I was mentioning in the very brief pre-show, the first 3 minutes of the hour dedicated to nothing but making sure we're going on time. How are your Christmas preparations going, everybody? Christmas is what? Well, it's 20 days away officially today, which is about 3 weeks away. And so how are you all doing and getting everything ready to go, ready to roll for Christmas? You have all the gifts you want to get? Do you have everything set? We've got my daughters and one of their husbands are coming down, or coming up, I guess, or coming over from North Carolina. Hey, could we keep it quiet over there, please? We are on the radio. It's always nice when you have to, while you're live on the radio, say, hey, keep it down. We're on the radio. But that's the way my family is. So anyway, hey, Paige Rockwell Soiree. Good to see you. Welcome to the No Christmas. You're not doing Christmas this year. You don't do Christmas at all. Or Christmas is fucked this year. It's one of those. Whatever.
Christmas.
There's Rainey. Come on over here, Rainey, and tell everybody.
I hate Christmas. I hate this time of the year.
Rainey hates Christmas. She hates this time of the year.
It's not about buying presents. This is the hard time of the year where nobody spends anything extra. So those people who are self-employed get no money.
Oh.
I was going to say what, from like October to February, Scotty hardly ever has jobs. And
yeah,
then,
the quarter around Christmas, if you were to take and
right?
unquarter the year and just say, okay, December, January, February, November, really, because it gets a little quiet around here. So
super quiet. And then even like everyone supports your small business. Even my stuff, I don't think I've sold a tumbler in like, I don't even know.
Yeah. Well, I think it's some of that's the economy too. I don't think I have. I wasn't going to talk about this tonight. I was going to talk about an Easter subject, frankly, but as we classify them. But Christmas time, I don't think I have had a Christmas go by. We've had tight Christmases before, but I don't think I've had one go by where it has been as abysmally tight as it is now. And that's odd. There's even some things we look at, we go, we can't get that right now. We can't get that household thing or that.
Oh my God. Okay. I'm just going to say it. I'm going to say it. I'm out of Epsom salt. I'm out of the dry shampoo. My eyeliner is almost empty. I don't have any mascara. We have 2 rolls of toilet paper left. Anything else? Yeah, I'm going to say it. It's tight times.
Yeah, it's tight times. Well, and everybody's got tight times right now.
Right?
But we just don't like it when it happens.
Not to be like, not begging for money, just telling you.
No.
There's people out there who are like us, and we know it, and we know how you feel, and it sucks.
Yeah. If you're going through tight times and Christmas is looking bleak, just hear those sleigh bells ringling, jing, jing, jingling too.
I was going through my Facebook memories.
Yeah.
And just over the last week, I'm going through my Facebook memories. At least every other year, there's I hate this time of year. I hate this time of year.
She says it every year.
I hate this time of year. It's so freaking stressful.
I love this time of year.
Yeah, Rainey wants TP for Christmas.
Yeah, Rainey wants TP for
dry
Christmas.
Shampoo.
And dry shampoo.
And a big bag of Epsom salt.
There it is.
I soak in Epsom like twice a week.
How do you get your Christmas list out?
Yeah.
Yeah. Paige says, peace, Rainey and Scotty. Peace to you, Paige,
Yeah.
as well. And I will, Steve. I will. He sent me a couple of messages saying, "Watch your email or your mail." So we're watching it. Was this today's mail? I think that was it. Oh, I think that's yours. It's from Zion Evangelical Lutheran Church. Must be a personal letter.
Oh, and Osceola, they're trying to recruit people.
So, to recruit them to what? Come to Jesus?
Come to Jesus. We know you're a witch.
And there it is. Here's your letter. Hey, Sarah, how you doing? What's it say, Rainey? What's it say?
On behalf of Zion Lutheran Church, welcome to this area. I hope you enjoy your new home. I don't own it, so I don't really enjoy it.
We hope you enjoy your new home that is 2 blocks from your old home, but you're new to the area.
According to information we've received, you have recently moved into our community or moved within our community. This note is to welcome you from our church and a wish that you will enjoy your new home and new surroundings. Through this note, we would like to also tell you about our church. I can read. I probably need glasses too. But I'm not going to the eye doctor.
Remember, no
glasses.
This is my beautiful wife who one day, several years ago, yelled across the room and said, "How do you spell furniture?"
Shut up. That was 10 years ago and I know how to spell
And I
it
said,
now.
"Okay, you ready?" She goes, "Yes." I go, "PH." She goes, "PH." I said, ERNERNAACHURE. Furniture. She goes, "Thank you." Wait a minute. That's not right.
That's not right. Jackhole. She best.
All right, go on with your personalized evangelical Lutheran Church letter.
All right. Zion Lutheran Church is here to serve you with the good news of Jesus Christ. The heart of that good news is what God tells us in the Bible in John 3:16.
Mm-hmm.
For God's love so loved the world that
Don't
he
mock
gave
it.
his only son.
Don't mock it.
Shut up. I can do what I want to. You're making me read it. Gave his one and only son, that whomever believes in him shall not perish, but have eternal life.
I don't think that's what John sounded like.
That's totally what
when
he
he
sounded
wrote
like.
that.
It's what he sounded like.
Why does a Buzz Lightyear comes to mind line? You're mocking me.
I am not. Anyways, the enclosed brochure tells you more about us. I have also invited you to check out our website at www.zionosceola.com.
ZionOsceola.com. Niall Parkinson asks, is it true that in the States you can get a letter from some community council if you do not mow your lawn in the summer? All depends on where you live. There are some
everywhere here.
Yeah, there are some communities that will you'll get a ticket, you'll get a tag, a citation, and a fine for not
fined. And then if you still don't do it, they'll send somebody to do it for you, and that's a really expensive bill.
Yeah, they'll send a lawn service and you get like double charged for the lawn service. It's plus your fine.
Well, depending on the size of your yard, but a little city lot would be like $150 for them to come.
Now, if we sound like we're talking like people who have experienced this before, we haven't.
We haven't, but we know.
We know people who have. So we once had a landlord at a place we were renting that got on us because, was it because the lawn was too long?
I think so, because our lawnmower was broken, and then we had to go out and buy a new lawnmower.
Yeah, we were waiting to get a new lawnmower.
And we were waiting for it not to be like.
And this is just one time in one single
self-employed.
Season.
We were waiting for somebody to send us a check, and we had to wait, and it was gone like 6 weeks before we could get that, before that check made it to us in the lawn mode, and we got a letter. Jerks.
Yeah.
Wasn't that Joey and Kim?
I don't know, and I don't really care to remember.
Don't worry, landlord people that we've rented from. I remember all your names.
Oh yeah. It was a landlord that was them because it was right next door. We had a corner house, old house, a turn of the century house. Not this last century. They'd make it only 22 years old. 122-year-old house. And we were renting the house out, and we had the corner lot. And it was a nice little lot and picturesque. The house kind of sucked inside because they had stripped it of all of its ambiance and, put in fiberboard walls and weird windows and stuff like that because it was a rental property. But the place looked nice from the outside. Couple of big trees, shade trees, a little front porch, and all of that stuff. And I trimmed the hedges there, kept them squared off in the motif it was in. And there was one time, where we didn't mow the lawn in time, and they were like, "You guys gonna mow your lawn?"
You gotta wait for a check
because they live next door. And
take your riding lawnmower and your big fat hips and mow the lawn. I'm sorry, you're recording. I'm swearing.
No, I'm not recording.
Oh,
we are live.
You're live, but you're on the airspace.
Yes, we're on the airspace.
Special. Don't say too many naughty words.
Well, do I look tired to you? I'm looking in the I look like I'm like really red and really tired tonight.
Yeah, a little bit.
Wonder why.
You
look gorgeous. Pull your hat back again. Look at your hair. Look at that beautiful hair. That beautiful head of hair.
I need my dry shampoo so my hair doesn't look so.
Yeah, her hair looks horrible today because she's out of dry shampoo.
Send dry shampoo.
What is the benefit of dry shampoo? Now we're not. You notice we're not talking about Pontius Pilate right now, which is the topic. But I actually envy having my wife's time on the show. So when she comes on, I'm like, I'll preempt anything. Consider it.
I'm special.
You're being preempted, or the topic's being preempted, at least till she gets out. There he is, Niall Rainey. He yawned at us earlier. I mean, a big yawn. I was sitting here. It was in the pre-show. We hadn't started broadcasting out yet, and I went, watch it. No, put that thing in your mouth is art. Name that movie. That's one of the best lines from that movie. Any of you see the animated Iron Giant? And yes, I hear.
Yes.
Great movie. God, movie. That came
Wonderful
out
movie.
that came out 20 years ago plus.
Like 25 maybe? I have no idea.
2000, I think it came out. But the Iron Giant's in the junkyard, the scrap yard that's owned by the beatnik guy. And he's making sculptures out of junk. And while the Iron Giant lives off of metal. And so he's eating all the junk out there, but then he picks up one of the pieces of art and starts eating it. And the old guys or the beatniks yelling at him. And hello.
You got it hot in here.
Hello.
Okay. Now we're good to go.
Did you realize we were on camera?
I did. I was checking myself out. I don't have a supportive bra on today, so I got the boobs sticking out the sides.
Let's see.
Well,
I see.
Now, but when you lean
it all comes back to boobs, ladies and gentlemen. It all comes back to boobs.
The space heater on.
Okay, then I approve, said Field Guy. Anyway, he's chewing on a piece of metal art. And the beatnik yells, "That thing in your mouth is art." So I've been able to use that line on Rainey a lot.
A lot. More than I can remember.
More than I can remember. But not more than you love.
Right.
Oh, that's true love. I love the Iron Giant page.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Hey, Dennis Castle. Good to see you. Greetings, Scotty and Rainey Roberts. Yeah, good to see you, man.
Always Olsen.
Glad you're here. Always Olsen. Yeah, Olsen, says Dave. Every time you do something like that, he says, Olsen.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just like having you on.
Yeah.
You're so pretty to look at.
Thanks. You're like.
Don't let it go to your head.
It's so white down here, though.
It is. It's too white. I have different things I want to do with the lighting. I want to do some gels and things like that. Dave has some theatrical lights we were going to put up here. Old ones he's got in storage. So we're going to see what we can do.
Go higher?
I don't think so. I think it's all right.
Pretty sure electric bill is $1,000 a month. I don't know.
Something like that. Hey, Andrew Specht. Good to see you. Hey, Scotty and Rainey, he says.
Hi.
If you can't read that.
Hi, Andrew. I can. My eyes have been
hey, Barbie D.
blurry lately. I don't see much.
Mine have been really blurry lately.
I'm pretty sure it's the radio frequency waves from the cell tower.
I don't think anybody heard you.
It's the radio frequency waves from the cell tower.
Yeah, she's on the cell tower thing again. Now, I
are
don't
in a
think
better
that has
position.
much to do
We're in a better
with
position
my eyes.
from this house, but
So
we still got those waves.
yes, we do. So how was Scouts tonight?
Scouts was fine. I didn't wear my uniform because it's getting a little tight in the boobies.
Why is it getting tight in the boobs?
Because I'm putting on some winter weight.
Oh, but you're working out and all that stuff. You're in better shape than I'm in.
My boobs are growing muscles. I don't know.
Her boobs are growing. That's interesting.
But anyways, my shirt's tight, so I don't wear my shirt tonight. So I felt a little just out of place.
Okay.
The girls, 2 girls were out, so I gave the girls the option to hang out with the boys' troop or do nothing, and so they chose half and half. Yeah, right. Somebody got hurt.
Or dropped something.
They went downstairs and we played cards for a while until the boys came in, and they had a surprise, like medical scenario issue for learning first aid. So the girls did makeup on them, and
pardon me if this makes sound, folks. There we go.
Everybody had fun, ran around. It's good times. Mini golf on Saturday. We're going to mini golf in Hudson.
This Saturday?
This Saturday.
Outdoor mini golf?
No, it's
I was
indoor.
going to say, it's going to be like 8 degrees.
It's all indoor. I don't know.
So are you going to your, don't you have a scout meeting coming up where you have to camp out in the snow?
That was supposed to be this weekend.
Oh, that was this last weekend.
But,
yeah.
Back to being self-employed and not having the funds we need. I didn't have the funds to pay for it, so now I don't go.
I'll
have to wait until spring. And then I'll be officially trained.
Well, aren't you happy though?
No, because this actually would have been
camp out in the snow.
This would have been camping indoors.
Oh, camping indoors.
Oh,
it was at the big thing.
Now I'm gonna have to camp
facility
outdoors. Yeah.
What is snow? Says Field Guy.
That's white stuff. It's cold.
What are snakes and rattlers, and or what are crocodiles?
Right.
What are crocodiles? What are alligators? Field Guy.
What's
a swamp? Field Guy.
Oh my God. Okay, so should I regale you with my amusing dream from last night?
Oh, another new dream.
Not super amusing. So since not last Sunday, but the Sunday before, when Ruben said start remembering your dreams, I have been trying to. Last night we found kind of a neat old gas station that was abandoned.
Who, you and me?
Yeah.
Or we is the general term?
We as in us.
Okay, cool.
And
we found an old gas station.
We perked it back to life and had our little gas station. And there was a weird little dirt bike. And I don't understand the significance of the dirt bike and the headlight, but it was really bright.
Okay.
And from there, after we got that done, and the back of this gas station was a giant,
Anaconda?
Like a water park.
Oh.
And so we revamped this water park and got it going. And we were having a blast. And got the water park all going. But then the aliens came. And they sent robots. And
everything was going great. The finances were good. The park was running fine. The dirt bike worked. Then the aliens came.
And
only my wife.
And the aliens came. And they kind of rounded up everybody and sent us to this big grassy area that was behind the water park. And there was this robot thing that sat there, and they were trying to get everybody to load on the bus. And if you ran, this thing shot bubbles.
There was a yawn, Niall. I covered it.
Shot bubbles at you. But the bubbles were some weird sort of thistle or thorn fungus. I don't even know. But Ellie got it on her, and then I went running after Ellie, so I got it on me, but we're running back, and so I made our family go swim in the pool, and I realized that whatever it was that was shooting in the bubbles that landed on us glowed red in black lights. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So when we went swimming, it washed off. But the aliens kept rounding people up, and then people decided they needed to go to the bathroom. I don't know, just random people. And so they came to use the bathroom.
Excuse me, I know you're rounding us up to take us to eat on your home planet, but I gotta pee.
I gotta go potty now. So people started coming to the bathroom, and I'm like, you guys, you can't get on this bus. We don't know where it's going to take us. And I'm pretty sure they're going to kill us. And if you jump in the water, the chlorine water is going to wash off whatever's on your skin. And so some people washed off and some people stayed with us. But then everybody else went and got back on the bus. Well, Ellie ended up getting on the bus.
Oh,
and I had to go
oops.
find her, and we almost didn't make it off the bus, and that's when I woke up.
Wow. That's a pretty detailed dream.
Yep. But whatever it was, I know on you it had hit you here, and it glowed red. So when you got in the pool, it started to wash it off. So we had to go swimming for a while and scrub. And then we had to throw our clothes away and find new clothes.
We had to throw our clothes away?
Mm-hmm. That was my crazy dream from last night. There's a few more. There's a few more because I went and got a pen and paper and started writing stuff down. I don't know that I can read everything I wrote because I wrote it in the dark. Just scribbled. There could be some notes from a demon. I don't quite know.
Yeah. Automatic writing in the dark.
Right?
So.
That looks really bad. Oh my goodness.
Hey, Matt Mullis. Good to see you. What's up? What's up yourself?
Yeah. What's up?
What's up?
What's up?
I don't talk that way, so it sounds stupid coming out of me. So it's obvious what the dream means, says Niall Parkinson.
What does it mean?
What's
Niall?
it mean,
What
Niall?
does it mean?
What do you mean?
What's your interpretation?
She could write from those. She could, Elderberry.
I could.
Have you written any of them down yet? Or
That's
you just
the only one I wrote down.
remember them orally?
I remember them orally, and I've been telling you, so hopefully you can remember.
You remember them how?
Orally.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness. It has been a while, Matthew. Good to see you here. I'm trying to think of how long ago it was when I last saw you and talked to you. Been a long time. Thistle and thorns in a bubble, says Niall Parkinson.
Fungus in the bubble.
A fungus. It was an alien fungus in the bubble.
And it was like a thorn or a thistle.
Rainey, write a book on your dreams. It would be fun to read.
Right. Well, okay. Now, what are the last couple of dreams I told you about? Because once I tell them, I don't remember them.
Oh, you don't remember? Well,
No.
I think that's a truth. I didn't write it down, but I remembered it for a half a day.
I told you my dreams for the last 3 days. You're supposed to remember them.
There were some. I'm trying to think of like apocalyptic dreams where we were shooting at aliens or Nazis or.
No, I don't remember that one, but I remember the one was Caroline and Eli. It was like end of the world. Yeah, end of the world times, and we were in the old farmhouse at my grandma's with more trees, but enough people had been gone long enough that the animals were starting to attack people to eat them.
Use the voice to text on your phone.
Hello, phone. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me now?
Hey, Google. Hey, Google. You hear me yelling in the middle of the night. Freaking gaggle.
Goggle.
Gaggle open.
Goggle.
My phone doesn't answer to Google. I have to say like gaggle or goggle.
Gaggle?
Gaggle? Like a gaggle of geese? No, I don't know. I'm making up words now.
Your phone have a different language, a
No,
different
it doesn't
dialect.
answer. It doesn't always answer to Google. But if I say something that's close to Google, it'll pop open. I don't know. It's a pain in the butt.
Grumpy Stack says, I had Rainey in my room when she took off her shirt. The singing alien came out of her stomach.
Nice.
See, that's what you get, for thinking of my wife taking off her shirt in your room.
Right?
Alien's going to eat you. In all fairness, he was probably going delirious from too many push-ups and sit-ups.
Right.
So I never asked Grumpy, did you make your $3,000 your 3,000 push-up goal? Hello. This looks like an easy job over here, doesn't it? It's really not. I got to remember how to say simple words like 3. Niall says it's a dream of frustration. The bubble represents retainment. The fungus represents your life.
And my life is Scotty's another life. What?
What?
Ellery.
Ellery.
Did
you fart? Really loud, like a trumpet?
Oh, it's the stool.
She moved the footstool along the floor.
Are you ready to go to bed? Should I take you to bed? Oh,
no, you stay right here.
I'm gonna have to get a chair. It's killing my shoulder.
So,
Yeah. Oh, Grumpy made it to 4,000.
See, I like you here like this, even if that's uncomfortable, it's not practical. But when you sit on the chair back there, you're down lower than this chair and you're behind me. Here, you're right up with me and you look pretty darn good. I like it.
Well, Pearl Jones just ordered a black tree. We almost
we were going to order a black. Where do you see that?
Right there.
Oh, we were going to order a black tree. Just for something different. We were going to order a quick tree and get it over here. I like real trees for Christmas, I got to tell you. But I don't know. Maybe that's us doing our part for the environment, is that we're not going to cut down a tree this year. We are going to celebrate Christmas this year.
Fake trees are more horrible for the environment than just cutting down
a
Christmas
they are.
Tree.
Making a fake tree? Yeah. It's a petroleum product.
It doesn't biodegrade.
So, no, it doesn't biodegrade. Mm-hmm. The needles don't fall off, though.
Yeah, they do.
So, well, sometimes. So, but that's cool, Delaney. She got a black tree. We almost did it ourselves. Hey, mechanics. Good to see you.
Can you hear my boots? I'm not farting.
Do I hear your boobs? You're not farting?
My boots are squeaking.
Oh, yeah. I don't hear them. Because remember, this is a concrete floor down here. So
listen, shh, be quiet.
I have to admit, I heard that. Paige Rockwell soiree. She says, you're in the country, cut your own. Do you know how many trees we've driven by in the last week with the kids and said, hey, there's a nice tree.
Just go cut the top off of it. It'll be fine, right?
Yeah, cut it about halfway up. And we're preserving the tree for future generations.
What's up, chicken butt?
But I did that once before. I went out into the woods when we were at the ranch. I went out to the woods and kind of the woods. It was the slope down from the house, down to the deep cut valley where the creek was.
Yeah.
I could go down in there and I just grabbed a pine tree. And of course, the neighbor in the next 40 acres over, he had
all the trees.
A pine tree farm. He wasn't doing Christmas. It was the government out here. The local government would pay you. The state of Wisconsin would pay you to keep to grow the tree. Some kind of thing like that. So
you realize, if I sit here until 10 o'clock, our kids are going to sleep till like 11.
That's true. Well, because they don't take the initiative to do what's they're supposed to do. We got to be there whip cracking the whip. Mm-hmm. Whip crack away, whip crack away, whip crack away. What's that from? Anybody know?
No.
Even though I sang it wrong. Paige said my son's dad would do that. Yeah, you go over to the next street over. There's a nice pine tree over there in their side yard.
Right. You gonna take one of those or what? You keep playing with it?
Oh, not yet. If I take it now, my CBD. Not that I advocate anything, but there you go. Yeah, you all know what those are. So
these make Scotty sleep.
They do, kinda, not as much as I thought they would.
Like almost empty.
Well, I've had the thing since July. That's I don't know how many are left in there, but yeah, little gummy pot, for lack of a better way to put it. Gummy weed. So no, I take one. I've been taking one of those because I would take the prescription stuff my doc gave me. And that stuff just make me the whole next day feel medicated.
Right.
And I didn't like medicated. That. And I looked medicated. I look like I do now. But how's that shoulder?
It's hurting. It was really bad for me to lean on.
Yeah. So here I'm going to do this because I can't. Oh, hold on, folks. I can't reach it. There it is. There. All right. There we are. That's a little better. So, and then the microphone. It's almost over here. I think it's close enough to pick us both up.
Okay.
I killed a pine tree, said Dave.
Scary hair. Okay.
Are you bragging? It's like, I killed me a pine tree. Davy Potter king of the wild frontier, born on a mountaintop in Tennessee. Killed him a tree when he was only 3. Davy Potter, king of the wild frontier. He did it all on his own.
With a car?
With a car.
Yeah, axe murderer.
Yeah, really. Axe. Yeah, it gives a whole new flavor to axe murder.
Oh, my goodness.
The trees are our brothers and sisters. Chop them down. It's like axe murder.
When I die,
Yeah.
I want to do one of those pods where they put your body in a pod to rot and then a tree grows
Oh, and
over
a tree grows out of you?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Right?
Well, I'll sit under its shade one day and try to remember you. So, Niall Parkinson, my life is so meaningless that I bought a Chilean cactus today for Christmas. It looked like a green porcupine smothering in a pot.
Nice.
My life, I love the intro. My life is so meaningless. I bought a Chilean cactus today for Christmas. Well, Merry Christmas.
Yeah. Merry Christmas.
Did George cut down that cherry tree? Grumpy Stack asks. Why? No,
It was Davy
Father. It
Potter.
was Davy Potter.
Oh my God. Okay.
So, Page. Rapid Dog, chop down a tree and bring it in your house. That's it. Have you guys ever done the I'm going to put my Christmas tree up in flames test? I've done that. You ever tried it?
Don't do it in the house.
Don't do it in the house. You will not get it out of the house before you totally destroy your entire house. When we were at the ranch, we dragged a Christmas tree out a week after Christmas, New Year's. Dragged it out to the barnyard, the big dirt compound out in front of the barn. And I took a match, standing about 10 feet from this Christmas tree. And I took a match and I went, fick. And I tossed the match. It landed in the tree and I went, oh, that's not going to do. It was about a 20-foot tall firebomb that tree. It went up so fast. So you missed the first 2 lines. You talking to me, Dave? You talking to me? You talking about my Davy Crockett song? Born on a mountaintop in Tennessee. Killed him a bar when he was only 3. Hey, Sterling. Well, why, thank you. And Merry Christmas to you, too.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Hey, everybody, you see what Sterling just did? You can do that, too.
Yeah. I think we have to burn the tree, though, is what that means.
Oh, we got to burn the tree with it. Oh, Merry Christmas. With a tree and a fire.
Yeah.
Thank you. And if it's an artificial tree, it will give off fumes and burn the ozone.
Right.
So make sure if you burn your tree that it's real. So, Grumpy Stack, sup, Romeldian, he says. Hey, Romeldian, how you doing? And so you got any other cool dreams?
I don't know. What else have I told you lately?
Well, we talked about some of them. You talked to me about the Cheetos dust.
That was gross.
I know. We didn't tell that on this show, did we?
Yeah, you did a couple times.
Yeah. So, but that's a recent dream.
That was like
that's just kind of weird.
That was like a year ago.
That's like a month ago.
What are my dreams the last week? I've told you every day I woke up. Every day I woke up.
No. Wait. You mean you don't remember the story I told you about my dream? What kind of husband are you that you don't remember that? It's like, it's your dream. You don't remember it, but you expect me to remember in the casual. I was drinking coffee and doing something. You got to hear this great dream. I had a crazy dream. Okay, honey, hit me with it. Well, there was this, and there was aliens, and there was big metal things and dirt bikes, and there was an amusement park in the back seat of the dirt bike. And then all of a sudden, there were aliens that wanted to eat us, and so we had to. And it's like, okay, cool, honey. Have some coffee. I made some coffee.
I remember the 5 greenhouses.
And then a week later, she's like,
5
you don't remember that dream I related to you? Because I don't either.
You're right. I don't.
Greenhouses.
The greenhouse. There was 5 greenhouses. And we were
Grumpy Stack. He has 750,000 shows We've heard each story 31.5 times.
Right?
Did you hear this story about her dream before? Huh?
We're working on the 0.5 of the 31 times.
There it is. But yet we come back for more because, even though you get some of the old stories retold, like a grandpa tells old stories. Hey, did I ever tell you about the time I hit on that redheaded barmaid while I was gone AWOL during the war? Oh, I did? Well, here, let me tell you, there's a new angle. So, the Cheetos story. Yeah, that's been told a couple of times here.
Gross.
See, I get mixed up. I don't know if we told it here, if we told it on Sunday, if we told it on Kenny's show, maybe all of the places.
You told it on Kenny's show too.
So there you go. And then I don't remember. Did I tell it here? Did you guys hear it?
Yes.
Now, if you're tuned into all of those shows, you're going to hear it 3 times. So you should have seen it in color.
I did see it in color.
What color was it?
Cheeto dust orange.
Cheeto dust orange.
That orangey red.
Bing, bang, boom.
I dream in color. I can read the words in my dreams.
Yeah, the last dream's documented here, Elderberry, so I won't forget that one.
Yeah.
And I've told you, for fear, Grumpy, of telling something I've said before on this show, Rennie used to have wild, weird dreams when I first met her.
Right.
She'd wake up in the middle of the night swinging. Like, hey, wake up. What are you dreaming?
If you ever get weird messages from me about a dream, that's all just has to happen so that the dream doesn't come true and you don't get hurt.
What is that like when you say, hey, this is Rainey. I know we don't talk much by messenger, but don't go outside your house and get on a bicycle today with a dog.
Right? Yeah.
You're like, why? Why are you telling me that?
Cryptic messages from me. And those ones, you just need to go with it. Don't question it. Just go with it.
And if you do get on the bicycle with the dog, avoid the carnival. Avoid the carnival.
No, if you get on the bicycle with the dog, then it's already going to happen.
Yeah. There it is. I remember John Ward's daughter, Bryony. We were all in Egypt, and all the girls were in one tent. That's just the way it worked out. All the women folk got in one tent. All the guys were over in another tent. We were in the Bedouin Sheikh's compound. And she wakes up in the middle of the night after falling asleep, and she yells, "Beware the one-eyed man! Beware the one-eyed man!" And my daughters were in that tent with her. She's like, Bronny. She says, "Oh, don't go near the door. Don't go near the door." And so we mocked her miserably about the door, not going near the door, and the one-eyed man and all of that. And then later in the trip, that's when Chris Conway fell through in one of the old temples. I think it was a temple at Edfu. And he misstepped and he fell through the old doorway, and he busted up his leg somehow.
Ouch.
But we didn't miss it. We didn't place the one-eyed man, but we did get the I don't know, it might have been entendre, I don't know. But superstitious, says Paige Rockwell. Soiree. It's sway, I believe is the way that's pronounced. And I keep wanting to say soiree, so I just call her soiree.
I would have put it as Suey, but that's me.
Suey. That's what I thought it was. I thought it was Suey, and she corrected me.
Yeah.
So.
I know words.
You didn't just do a pig call.
I did.
I don't think she meant it that way, Paige.
I didn't, but that's totally what the last name means to me.
Wow. So, mechanics, I used to have crazy dreams before everything went crazy.
Nice.
Was it about the stuff that went crazy? Or was it just like the stuff that happened? Did you see any premonition in your dreams in retrospect? You know, you can always tell your dreams have premonitions when you see it in retrospect. But I don't know.
But see, for some people, my dreams that are premonitions happen differently than the regular dreams.
Did you ever dream anything about me that happened, or us it's a serious question, because I remember you saying at some point that you dreamt stuff. Did anything ever happen to us or me or you in recent years that you can think of that?
Hold on. What? Go up to bed. I'll be up in a minute. Well, I knew you were being naughty a long time ago through a dream, and you told me I was wrong, but I was right.
Well, you said it was a redhead.
No. I asked you if there was more going on with somebody.
See, I don't remember that.
I do.
That was that thing I told you all about. In case you think she's surprising you all with something. She's not. It was like 14 years ago.
A long time ago, there was an incident.
There was an incident.
And I had a dream about it, and it all came out. And I went to Scotty, and he said, "No."
I don't remember the details. So what did you actually dream? Did you dream it was that person or?
Yeah. Yep. It was that person, and what?
Well,
had been
how did
going
that
on?
person enter your mind? Where'd you know her from?
I don't know how to tell you. It just
that's interesting.
Was in my dream, and you told me that my dream was wrong, and that wasn't happening.
Interesting. Oh, I do know that ahead of time you said, "Be careful of her. You might get involved." I said, "I think you get involved with that." So.
Yeah, and there was another time where I remember I went up and asked you what's going on. Because I had this dream and you said nothing.
Yeah.
But you lied.
And if those of you who are listening that don't know what the hell she's talking about, I've talked about this before. So,
right?
Yes.
Not to be all cryptic, but I had, not that it matters, but that was a dream.
I had an emotional affair with somebody way back 2009. It was about the time Dave and I were working on the big murals on the Templar Lodge, or the lodge, 2009-ish.
A little bit before that,
somewhere in there.
It was before Flynn was born.
Yeah, it was. Well, he was born in 2009. So.
And Flynn was born, and because we brought him a couple of times to go paint the mural.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there you go. She got that crap stored, filed away, date, time, and weather conditions. That's right, Grumpy Stack. Yeah.
Not to be like it's stored because there's dreams and stuff that go with it. There's other stuff that goes with it. So it's not like I'm just storing it to store it. But I store a lot of stuff anyways, just because.
Yeah. And so, yeah. So I've talked about that before, and I don't hide that fact at all, just in case anybody wonders. That's not to turn a serious tone, but yeah, I had an emotional attachment to somebody.
But you asked about dreams, and that was the one. That's the one that I can specifically remember.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, not all dreams, but just because I am smart and I can put 2 and 2 together, and I know
I'm smart, SMRT.
There's been a lot of people where I've told Scotty, I don't know about this person. This and this and this are going to happen. Just wait and see. And this and this and this happened with that person. And it's been a lot of people. And it's.
Yeah.
I'm good at reading people.
I did not always trust her take on things.
And you still don't.
Oh, I do more now than I used to.
Yeah, but you don't. He doesn't listen to me when I tell him stuff.
He doesn't. You're being interpreted for man and woman. He doesn't do what I tell him to do.
Stay away from that person. They're bad.
Well, no, I haven't heard that in a long, long time, though.
Well, I
think Lan was the last person you told me that
on.
And that was 2011.
That bad, but I've also told you the people that were going to use you and go, and that's all been.
Who's the last person? Anybody I know?
Do I? Yeah.
They might be listening. I mean, you don't whisper it in my ear. Oh, yeah.
And.
Oh, yeah.
You want me to say that one?
And yeah, give me the third one.
Oh, I can't remember.
Oh, yeah. So in other words, everybody I've ever been involved with in my life, she mistrusts.
No, but you look at everybody. Not to
I wasn't
be like,
mocking you.
No, I know you're not mocking it, but you look at it. I called it, and I called it 100%.
Yeah.
So it's the.
You did.
Sometimes you just gotta trust what your wife says.
Sometimes you do.
And go with it. And you don't like
and
to
sometimes
be told
I feel like a nut,
nothing.
and sometimes I don't.
I couldn't tell Scotty nothing.
Nope.
He won't listen. He's got to do
Not
it
nothing.
all on his
Not
own,
know how.
which is a real struggle. Ellie. There's a kid under the desk hitting my feet.
Yeah, she came in from the other side.
I wish I had to fart right now.
Oh, me too. Nice.
Do you need mama?
Sarah
love?
Yusuf said that's based on experience. Dave Potter, who is going to give you, I haven't even read it yet, but Dave's going to give you some line to prove that he knows me better than you. Let's see. I told you that about him as well, though, and you ignored me as well.
Write it privately on my messenger.
What did you tell her about
I want
me?
to see if we're on 2 and 2 here. I don't remember my pen. Hold on.
All right. What did Sarah says that's based on experience.
Oh, that's Sam. Sam said he's happy we like the pies that I couldn't eat because they weren't gluten-free.
Oh, all right.
Send dry shampoo and gluten-free pie.
8 minutes, Scotty.
You got 8 minutes.
I missed something. What am I missing?
I don't know.
That's based on experience. 8 minutes, Scotty.
Yeah, that's based on experience. Wait, what? No,
that was 8 seconds.
Yeah.
That's like rodeo sex.
8 minutes is about all I get.
You see, 8 minutes is all you get of what?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Wow.
8 minutes is all I need.
We do not dream
How
about
about that? Oh, Lan. Yeah, Lan.
I've only worn her out a couple of times. And once was before we were married. We were living together. I remember it went from the desk chair to the desk to the kitchen table to the sofa to the bathroom vanity to the massage table, which all of her clients I'm sure would have loved to have known, set up back in the back bedroom. And there was a point where she just said, okay, you got to stop now. I'm done.
I'm done.
But that was when I was young and virile. Yeah, Grumpy, I am. I am that small. So, oh, Dave Potter Land? Yeah. Yeah, that was an experience, wasn't it? So, let's see. Niall Parkinson says, we do not dream about current events. We do not dream about past events. Yeah, right. We put them all in a pot, boil it up, and release it. So, yeah, we dream about things that are not resolved. Very true. Hey, you, I'm going to have you go sit over on that chair and wait for Mom over there while we're doing this, okay? I love you. I love you. Go in there. Don't be pulley. Don't be clingy. Go sit back where you've been the whole time. There you go. Bye.
Did Dad's phone run out of battery? Here's mine. Here's mine.
So we've got, let's see. This show goes now. I just want to make sure I'm doing this right by the radio. According to this.
Yeah, Grumpy, we're on the same page.
9:58 is when the show goes off, which is 5 minutes from now. So 55 minutes, that's it. What it is 55. When this hits 55 on the timer, show's done. So at 54, I got to start doing the exit for the radio.
Sarah's been traumatized.
There you go. Are you traumatized, Sarah? What happened?
She's never going to listen again.
Never going to listen again?
No, I don't know.
It's the wife versus the radio wife. So.
Do you have a radio wife?
You're a what?
Huh? I said, do you have a radio wife?
I don't have a radio wife. So, unless you're talking about Wendy. You trying to stir the pot over there, Sarah?
Yeah, Sarah.
Or what? Yeah, Wendy says I'm her professional husband, number 2, because she's got Mark as her professional husband, number 1, who she does radio with, too.
Not to be like, I've never listened. I'm sorry.
She's never listened.
Not to Wendy.
Hey, honey, what'd you think of my last show the other night? Oh, I didn't listen. I was doing my nails.
Do you know that if I'm listening to anything, it's my Pandora station?
Yeah.
That's what I like to listen to.
I know.
Because then I can sing really
your
loud
Appalachian music.
and really noisily and annoy the crap out of you.
You know what's fun is when I come back to the house after, I don't know, taking the kids to school or doing something. Nobody's here except Rainey. And she doesn't hear the door. And she's down there going, oh, high on the mountain. She's singing.
That's loud. Yeah, see, shut up.
See? That's what I tell her.
And you got it wrong. It's, hey, little girl, is your daddy home? Did he go and
Leave you all alone. Uh-huh.
I got a bad desire.
I just want to get smokes at the gas station. Shh. LOL. This is Paige. Rainy Radio. Pretty much. You can dial her in and there it is. Rainy, are we on the same page? Asked Grumpy Stack. It might have been about something you said, but I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we're on. Grumpy and I are on the same page.
Yeah, you're on the same page. So, Sarah meant Uncle Dave. I'm traumatized. You were traumatized by Uncle Dave? I'm lost. I'm looking at your last post. I'm traumatized. The one before that, it's the wife versus the wife, the radio wife. And then it's mine, Scotty. Or 8 minutes, Scotty. It's glasses.
I got, hey, sweet
What
pea.
did you mean? You meant Uncle Dave. I missed something. So, so what? Who was asking something about Wendy, or that I surmised they were talking about Wendy?
I don't know.
Was it? Oh, that's what it was.
I think you're getting lost up in the stuff.
I see. It's the wife versus the radio.
Somebody says something, and then somebody else says something. Yeah, Scotty, it's dementia.
There it is. You're about 18 years behind me, Grumpy Stack. So enjoy it while you got it. So.
What was that? He's losing his hearing too, huh?
Huh?
I didn't see that.
Don't make so many noises. Use your words. By the way, Wednesday night will be the night that we go ahead and do the Pontius Pilate bit.
Who's Pontius Pilate?
For tonight. Pilate, the Roman procurator.
Did he invent planes?
In Judea in the 1st century.
Okay.
All right. So, folks, guess what time it is? Yeah.
I'll be at hockey on Wednesday.
We have used this whole show doing fun stuff today.
Talking about nothing.
Talking about nothing. The
Except
show
my
about
dreams.
nothing. Except Brainy's dreams. Those are something, I'm pretty
Just call
sure.
my dreams nothing.
No, I said there's something. So, at 38, we got to start going out.
Okay.
Radio audience, live long and prosper. Stick around, folks.
Join us every weeknight at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, 10 p.m. Eastern. The Intrepid Radio Program, a Scotty Roberts Productions broadcast.
Oh, there it is. It's about time. It took long enough.
Yeah.
That black streak. I'm blonde, so I have an excuse, says Paige. And I hate to ask Snile, but what's a Pandora station?
Pandora is a music.
It's a box you open up.
Yeah, it's a box that brings you disease.
I hope not.
Isn't that what Pandora's box was? I don't know. It's a streaming radio thing, and then you pick your songs, what you like to hear, and then it sends you stuff they think you want to hear, and then you thumbs it up or thumbs it down, and then it gives you more music.
That's all right.
My station.
Grumpy Stack, you're somewhat prettier than me. I would say there are days I wake up and I say, I wish I was as pretty as Grumpy Stack.
Right.
This morning was one of them.
You're
It was
so
a
pretty,
particularly
like our
bad day. I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. The cat was licking my face and meowing. And I went up and I tried to make coffee, but I fumbled and bumbled through that.
Couldn't find
Then I
his
went and looked
creamer,
at the
which was in the
mirror and I
fridge.
said, Grumpy Stack is sure prettier than I am. How can I be like Grumpy Stack? So there it is. Hey, Barbie D.
Yeah, hi.
Now says, I'm wondering what Pontius Pilate would say about all this. Washed his hands, I guess. But ching. Sorry for those of you who were here for the Pontius Pilate story. We're going to look at a different angle on this than we had before, than I even had before. A little extra research. You know, you read a few things, you soak a few things in, you look up this and you're looking up that. And there was a great historical piece.
You had time to
I found
read.
it. Yeah. Why?
I don't have time to read.
It was for work.
I should read for work.
You should.
I don't have any time to read.
I don't either. But I do it
Uh-huh.
for you because I have to.
You do it for them?
I do.
Why don't you do it for me?
I do. You should see the articles I read for you. Let's see how to deal with a
Crazy wife.
crazy
Hey.
wife. See right there. Psychology Today.
How to help my wife not murder me.
Yeah. If you feel your wife is going to murder you, how do you avoid this catastrophe from taking place?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I hate to say this.
Then don't say it.
I need to.
Okay, what do you got to say?
I gotta go get the kids to bed.
Okay, go get the kids to bed.
It's 10 o'clock.
I'm not going to stick around long here. My wife hears me saying that. Every time I say that, somebody wants to call in and blow that out of the water. But not some of you. Niall, not you. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about Professor Bauer. Whenever I'm ready to sign off, I go, well, folks, we got about 3 minutes left and we got to get out of here tonight. Professor Bauer calls. He says, I heard you talking. I wanted to squeeze this in the last 3 minutes. It takes him 3 minutes to say hello. So, you know, I hear my Professor Bauer. You know, I was thinking about the psychological implications of the forward thought of mass induction rate. I call it the inductionism of the human greeting. And the inductionism of the human greeting, and it's indoctrinating you. And as you indoctrinate yourself, you've got to inculcate the inductionary process of the inductionism of the human race in order to say hello. It's the greeting and felicitations issue. And that's what I hope he's listening. I love Professor Bauer. He had so much to this show. But he also is a grand user of words. I appreciate users of words. So
I appreciate your usage of words when you're yelling at the kids because it takes so freaking long.
Oh,
that's torture.
My God. Today, I had to yell at the kids.
Okay, I'm out though. It's 10:03. I'm putting kids to bed.
Go put kids to bed. I'll see you in a little bit.
Good night, everybody. It was fun. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening to her. She came in and barged in on my show uninvited.
Yeah. Because you were talking about something I had to yell about. What I yell about?
I don't remember. If you were yelling at me, it was like, were you talking to me?
I don't think I was yelling at you. You said something and then I had to yell and
you
answer.
Talking to me? Did you rub my lamp? So, what's that from?
A movie.
Yeah. That's it.
Night,
Rainy,
TV
says
shows.
Grumpy.
Good night. Good night.
Good night. I love you.
See y'all later.
I get to touch your butt with impunity.
Right, I'm leaving my chair.
Okay. If I'm still here when you're done with those kids. Oh, look at my eyes. My eyes are wonky today. My eyes are wonky a lot lately.
It's the radio frequency waves from the cell tower.
There it is. It's the radio frequency waves from the cell tower. Oh, Professor Bauer is here. Word, he says. I couldn't think of enough big words, Prof. So I did my best. Oh, here's Uncle Dave. Hey, Uncle Dave.
Don't be afeard, Bauer. Call in.
Don't be afeard.
Where you at?
Don't you be afeard now, Bowers. You don't let him scare you off.
Oh, this shouldn't take more than 45 minutes to an hour and a half.
That's right. Don't get a complex, Professor. We're just ribbing you. We're joshing you. Where did the term josh, when you josh somebody? We was just joshing.
Back 1,100 years ago, there was this guy named Josh.
Some Joshua guy that pulled a fast one on the king.
No,
and
what I always think about is there is a clan named Doofus.
Doofus?
And you have to wonder, what did they do that was so bad that for the rest of history? What did they do? Oh, great. Here comes another doofus.
Oh, stand aside. I'm a doofus, and we're going to take care of this problem for you.
Maybe they were the start of, here, hold my scotch. I've got this.
Yeah, it might be. Famous last words. Hold my scotch. I've got this.
He only thinks he's the king because he's wearing that crown. I'm going to go take it from him.
I'll show you. I take the crown off his head. I'll bet you he's as common as the rest of us. Here, watch. What a doofus. Oops, I'm way behind, says Michelle Canham-Free. No, you're not. You're way forward. Think of yourself. You may find yourself on some days thinking, fuck it, I am way behind. But now all you must do is realize that you are actually, consider yourself and look at yourself, Michelle Canham-Freedom. Look at yourself as being way forward, and all the other fuckers are way behind. That's all you have to do.
Sometimes you have to stop and smell the flowers.
Sometimes. But Bob G says, sometimes you must stop and smell all the flowers. Forward thinking. Don't go straight, just go forward. So, forward thinking, nice. Says
Somebody
Michelle
put a
Canham-Free.
nickel in you today.
I'm at ring. I don't know. I feel tired. My eyes are red. Some of that's the lighting in this room too, though.
I'm sorry.
I mean,
I'm sorry.
My nose is
I'm
red.
sorry. We'll get that lighting taken care of.
Oh no, I wasn't saying anything to you about that. I was trying to do gels the other day with the lighting I had, and it was like, nah.
Yeah. It's not going to work. We need to take the time and run out to the storage and grab. They're right there in Hudson.
Yeah, there you go. It's right here in Hudson. I'm at Rainy singing Springsteen. Was Rainy singing Springsteen? Did I miss something?
I didn't hear her sing. Oh yeah.
Born in the U.S. No, I didn't hear her doing any of that. What'd she sing?
Didn't Springsteen write the song that she was singing?
What'd she sing?
Hey little baby, or is your daddy home? Has he gone?
There's like an Appalachian group that sings that and makes it sound very different. I didn't even think of Springsteen on that one.
Well,
Paige Rockwell's soiree. She's leaving. Bye, sweet dreams, kiddos. She says, "Will do."
I had to download.
Your wish is my command.
The Magnificent Seven this morning to get that damn earwick out of my head because of you.
Bump, 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 bump.
Don't start that again. Don't start that again. Dun, 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 dun.
Was there a TV series that they used that theme on? An old Western in the 60s?
Nope, not that I know of. But there's been several Western themes that
very similar
that harken to that are written very similar so that it draws that feeling. And even when you think about it, as I was listening to this morning, the beef commercial, that beef, that's what's for dinner,
Yeah.
pulled themes
Yeah,
from
themes from that in the
that
background.
yeah.
Well, you always hear that whenever it has cattle,
Yeah.
You ever wondered where your meat comes from? Dun, 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 dun,
Dun,
dun,
dun,
dun,
dun,
dun,
dun, dun, dun, dun.
dun.
Yeah.
Well, it's out here in the high plains of New
And it's
Mexico.
not even about cattle. It's about a bunch of gunmen mercenaries going off to
I know.
shoot banditos in a faraway
Does your
city.
6-shooting Colt have insurance? You don't want to get caught dead. You don't want to get caught at high noon.
You could totally
without
remake that
insurance
movie
on
where
your
like the
6-shooter.
mayor of New York calls 7 guys up and is like, "We need you. We've totally lost control of the town."
Yeah.
7 guys roll into New York.
Roll into town. And yeah,
we're gonna set the law straight.
We're gonna mow down into New York.
New York City.
I'm sorry. Hey, what you doing, man? What you doing? This is our turf, man. I'm sorry. Did my Colt speak to you yet? And what was the great line?
Punks do this, thing, and they kind of squint and look away when they shoot. Those 6-shooters are, they're all gone.
Or if you were cool like Gary Cooper.
Yeah.
So you pull the hammer back. Paige, she is 18 and in college.
Who are we talking about? What are we talking about?
I don't know. How sweet, Grumpy. Grumpy's flirting again. Rainey left, so now he's flirting with somebody else. You showed up, Niall, and it booted Dave. So
there you go.
Sorry,
karma
Dave.
For you. That's
wherever
karma.
You are.
I'm higher up on the list on the Freemasons than he is.
That's right. That's right.
I can boot him off anytime.
There you go.
But
only when you're wearing that neat little apron.
That was just totally coincidental. He'll be back in a second. Going, what happened? What happened?
What happened?
There
he is.
Very busy month. I was about to start.
Having look at that. Good thing I'm on for a short time tonight.
I thought I heard you say something about 3 minutes to go, so I
I was hoping you were out there. My brain is so detached from reality at the moment. I can't even think straight. I haven't been able to think straight the whole show. I don't know how I was going to pull off an intellectual type of a show. And then Rainey walked in and took over. But
so it's a perfect time for me to jump in and say something about astrophysics and Santa Claus at the same time.
I think they're one and the same, aren't they not? Professor Bauer,
exactly.
We give that to you.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm thinking that, this character with the big beard and the red outfit, and there's something about, I heard something about the reindeer recently.
Yeah.
Where the reindeer are actually all female because they have no horns. Is that true?
I thought they all had horns.
Do they have horns?
Every rendition I've seen, they have horns.
It was something about the reindeer. They don't have horns, and therefore that makes them female. So it's a bunch of women driving Santa's sleigh, and there's a whole nother connotation to that. I don't know what that means. All I know is it sounded pretty strange to me, and I thought, I don't know. I gotta go look into that one.
Have you ever heard that? Professor Bauer says somebody told him that all the hi. Why, thank you.
Well, you yelled for me, and I'm in the middle of getting dressed. What do you expect?
Or undressed, such as it may be. Ha!
What did Professor
to all of
Bauer,
you guys.
Professor Bauer, what?
That all of Santa's reindeer are female.
I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
No.
I didn't either.
I didn't either.
Well, okay.
I heard it and I thought, don't know about that, but
are you cold? No, you're not. How do you do that?
They're still kind of hubby and wife doing. They've been doing this for an hour now.
Yeah.
Getting back to the deer thing, right?
Right.
Now, there is a couple of answers to that, right?
Now
she's right over here. Look.
Female deer have nubs.
What's the matter with that woman of mine? She won't ever leave me alone when I'm doing radio.
So they have nubs, Niall? Is that what you said?
Yes.
Turkey nubs.
Now, depending on the reindeer, I'm not sure about, but in deer that live, it's a bit like a lioness is not traditionally built. They have smaller teeth than the male.
And yet
it's a way of. Yes,
Yeah.
they are. Yes, because they have a particular way to do it. That's why that their manes do not grow as large as the males.
That's nice.
And so antlers. What we're talking about is antlers or defense mechanisms. So in some species of deer, they actually saw them down so that the deer do not gorge their own young. And genetically, over many generations, the antlers tend to disappear, but they're left with these nubs, which are like little protrusions that just which used to be quite as large as the males would be, So I'm not sure.
Hiding from you,
Professor Barrow, what your question is, or if they're all female, or if they're all where does the myth come from? Or
no, all I heard was that somebody said that all of Santa's reindeer were female, and it was because they had no antlers. And
when I was a kid, they all had antlers.
Yeah, and I'm thinking to myself, I remember, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer is one of my favorite cartoons, and I remember they all had antlers. And so when I heard that, I thought, I don't know where they're getting this, but it sounds like it's something
need to check out.
I would assume Vixen doesn't have antlers.
I just want to be a dentist.
I think
you're an elf. You have to make toys.
I think they're getting this from the current environment that we're living in at the moment. Is that are the reindeers male or female, or are they some other sexuality that we haven't identified yet? A lot of it is woke. That's why it's kind of brought up.
Yeah, it was. It was on in the background. I heard it was on some show. Somebody was talking, and I wasn't paying that much attention. But when they said that, I thought that doesn't sound right to me. That's not my.
No, it doesn't, because traditionally, all of the reindeers had antlers, but they weren't like widespread. They were like small antlers, but they definitely had antlers. Yeah.
They were moose antlers. They were.
I just called up images of Santa's reindeer, and they all have antlers, and they're large antlers.
There, Dave has done his research.
See that?
Wikipedia says.
I was going to say.
I'm just saying.
They're not like an elk's antlers. They're not like huge.
Elves don't have antlers. Oh,
elk.
Got it.
I was going to say that this rumor, this myth that the females don't have. I mean, it's false. It's completely bogus. The females are just as horny as the males.
There you go. There it is. But ching.
There you go.
Now, I was always confused about something. Not being a farm boy, do cows have antlers, or is it just bulls that have antlers? Are there male cows, or they're just female?
They're called horns. They're called horns, not antlers.
I'm asking. It's like a city guy. So their cows that you have there. Do those cows have antlers, or do they just give milk?
Okay, no cows
give
have
milk.
Antlers.
You have antlers.
They have horns. No cows have antlers. They have horns.
Cows have antlers.
All cows.
No, they have horns.
All cows have horns.
All cows have horns.
Yes.
Okay.
But they saw off the female.
Because, at 62 years old, I saw something on TV about 2 days ago from a vet show. It might have been Dr. Pole or something like that. And they're working on a cow, and the cow lifts its head, and it's got horns. I go, That ain't no cow. That's a bull. And then, and like he's hearing me on the TV. And he says, so we got that cow and we got all the milk out of her and she had an infection. And I'm like, so cows have horns? When did cows start getting horns? Was the way.
Sometimes you have to milk a bull. My fiance
sometimes you
used
have
to
to
work
milk a few bull to find a cow. That sounds like a personal problem, Dave.
God, stop.
Female cows.
Female cows.
My first fiance worked in dairy reproductive science, and sometimes you had to milk
overlap
a bull.
here. Your first, now what, Sterling?
Just real quickly, female cows don't have horns, but women cows can have horns.
Oh, women cows.
Yeah.
Not the female, but the woman
birthing cattle.
Is that there a woman cow or a man cow?
Got to be woke. It's a birthing cattle.
It's a birthing cow, yes. Oh, my goodness. All right. I feel like I'm stoned, but I haven't had anything like that. I really do. My brain is on a stoned frequency for some reason. Okay. I don't know what it is.
And yet you were going to talk about Pontius Pilate tonight and some of the great
I was going to talk about, about 5 minutes before the show, I was like, oh boy, here we go. You know?
And then you were like, you know what?
I
I couldn't be asked doing any of this right now. Randy, come in here. I'm just going to talk shit for an hour. It's just, this is all too much for me. It's all too heavy. I don't give a shit about Pontius Pilate and whatever the program was.
Yes. Pontius. The title of tonight's show is Pontius Pilate, JEDI or SITH, and we were going to take it from there. So
yeah.
I got some great historical
it's
stuff
still a
on
good
Pilate.
show. One of the more enjoyable ones and quite humorous.
Thank you.
And stuff like that. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
It was kind of curious because I got an insight into you and Rainey, which was kind of curious.
What'd you get?
Yeah.
What'd you get?
About her dreams, and she was like, what does that dream mean? Oh, what does that dream mean? And
she's been having weird dreams since the day I met her. Yeah. I don't think the two are, coincide with each other.
I love the way you two rib each other, and she kind of looks and says, she never really says it, but I remember this and I remember that, and don't forget I remember this and remember.
Oh, don't forget I remember that.
Yeah.
Women don't get my wife doesn't get hysterical; she gets historical.
Yeah.
Well, she gets hysterical too.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that women have an incredible ability to do is to remember things that haven't happened yet.
I know. Rainey pulls that on me all the time. I know exactly where you're going. I know exactly what you're doing. Well, I don't hide anything from my wife. I mean, oh my God, I can't think of anything I'm hiding from my wife ever. So, other than that one time 14 years ago when I didn't say something about somebody that I had affection for that I shouldn't have. And, but Dave's been around here enough. Uncle Dave knows our family. He knows what the dynamic is around here.
Yep. Pretty much like you see it on the air, folks. It's pretty much just like that.
Pretty much the same thing. Rainey's like that all
the time. There's a lot fewer F-bombs on the radio.
I was on somebody else's little podcast this morning, and I was out in the garage so I could have a smoke while I was doing it. Like Niall. So coincidence or not, folks, like Niall just did. And Rainey walks out. It's about 8 a.m, and she walks out. She'd just gotten out of bed, and she's coming out to get something out of the freezer. And I go, well, hey, good morning. I said, my lovely wife's awake. Good morning. And she goes, shut up.
Shut up.
From the background. And so I'm like, oh, well, there you go. But she said it with a smile. She said it with a smile. So then she came over here. I'll bet you're all wondering, but you all know, Rainey, if you've been a long-time viewer of this show, you know exactly what was going on at the beginning of the captain's cabin. My wife comes back down, and she's standing there stark naked. And she starts just talking to me nonchalantly, like I'm not supposed to notice your nudity in front of me. And I'm like, well, hello. Hello. And so that's what was going on there. You're all used to that. She used to do that to me in sometimes when we're in the midst of serious topic shows. And I'm talking serious. I mean, I'm not talking frivolous, I'm talking serious. And she'll walk into the studio and be naked and dance in front of me and stuff. And I'm like, well, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's about time for a commercial break because we're not going to be able to hit that part about the eschatological Antiochus Epiphanies until we get back. So you hang on. Take two. So, anyway, that's how they keep us hooked for years, says Jeremy Hansen.
Yeah, I think, you know what I think about stuff like that.
What do you think, Niall?
Scotty, I mean, I think Rainey has kept you on a pretty short leash for a long time because of her physical beauty, and she knows how to manipulate it.
Totally.
Oh, yes.
And
yes. Does she manipulate me? Sure she does.
Does
she think I know? No. She thinks she just manipulates me. So, yeah, and now we're not talking negative, big time.
No. It's just natural men-women stuff.
Talking man-woman stuff.
Yes. And it is intriguing to talk about because it is the kind of bread and butter of how women are and how they relate to each other, and men and women as they are married, especially women who are more emotional beings, they tend to rely on their higher intellect and their higher emotional capabilities to manipulate men who, let's face it,
were manipulatable.
Even though they would deny it down to the ground, but they would say are infants in their eyes, and they're so they will learn how to use their sexuality to their own advantage. I mean, since it was on the air this evening, Rainey gave a couple of pokes in the rib about money.
Sure, she did.
Financial stuff, yeah. And I've noticed that before. Now, this is. By the way, we can't afford this, and if we could, and we would get this, and if we didn't get that, it all depends. It all depends on how much this guy makes. I was sitting there going, Jesus, if a woman said that to me, I'd be like, get out the door. But if you're married to the same woman for a long time,
if you're married to the thing for so long, that's what I thought you said.
To the same woman for a long time, you kind of have to incorporate those very clever little digs into your ribs and kind of like, don't forget what you have to do to keep this family going.
Right.
Hey, that's just Rainey.
Hey, everybody.
That's just Rainey.
But that's just Rainey. Rainey is somebody who she suffers from anxieties, whatever you call that, disorder.
And I hearken that back to when she was 17, she was raising her brother and sister.
Yeah. So she was 17 years old and raising her 10 and 11 years
being
younger
the parent,
brother and sister, all on her own. And so Rainey has developed a certain style in life, a certain way she has to do things and cope with things. She's 43 years old now. There's no secret to that. She's 43, I think, or she's 42. What? And but she's grown a little bit since she was 17, obviously. And but with Rainey and I, it's the anxiety, I think, that takes over. She's anxious about not just about how to pay the bill next month or how to do this or do that the next month. She can be anxious because the radio tower's out there on top of the water tower.
Yeah.
And oh my God, that's a G5 tower up there. And look, it's a block away from our house. That's going to radiate your nuts and my brain. And that's the way she walks around with it. She left it on the desk here the other day.
Because it only attacks thinking apparatuses.
And she's
Oh, yeah.
reading the electromagnetic.
Yeah,
And
I hope you didn't get me wrong, Scotty. I wasn't.
I didn't.
Casting aspersions.
Oh, I didn't.
About,
I didn't.
But it is a very good example of generalizations between men and women. That's the
well.
point
Speaking of generalizations, in my 65 years, I've learned a couple of things. One of them was, oh God, it must have been about 40 or 50 years ago when I was informed about the definition of a lesbian. I realized I was one too.
A male lesbian, yes.
And the second thing, and the second thing was that I realized after being married and having children, and now my children have children. In fact, I had an outstanding little Zoom with my grandson earlier today. It was impromptu, and that was just absolutely outstanding. But I've noticed it in my two daughters, and I've noticed it in my wife that I had my two daughters with, and that is this: men marry women hoping they won't change, and women marry men hoping that they will.
Well, that's a generalization, but yeah, I agree with you.
It is a generalization, but there's women have this innate need to fix us.
Yes,
and
there's a lot of truth in that.
We don't know how much we've been wrong about until we get married.
Yeah.
And
I had no idea. I had been living my entire life wrong until I met you.
I didn't know that there was a certain way to load the dishwasher. I didn't know that there was a certain way to fold clothes. I didn't know that there was all these different things that I had been doing quite fine.
I have been divorced.
Getting married.
I have been divorced since 2005. I still fold my clothes the way my wife taught me.
Oh, she got you good.
She did.
Wow, Dave.
She did.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's bad.
Just in case she comes by, I do not want to get yelled at for that.
I think the same thing. I might have said to Dave not long ago, or somebody else, a friend of mine I was talking to, I said, when did I, as a 60-year-old man, become somebody who doesn't know shit? Now, in general, I will say, I use the saying, the more shit I know I don't know shit. But I'm talking history, philosophy, the mechanics of the universe. I'm not talking about loading a dishwasher. I'm not talking about which direction to put a toilet paper roll on. Hell, I am so liberal and liberated, I don't even need the toilet paper roll thing. I can just set it on the countertop or the side of the tub.
But you see, Scotty, they start with those small things, and then it creeps into all the other aspects of your life, including what you remember and who you may or may not have had a relationship with, on a physical or platonic or whatever, and back to that
what they know.
All those.
What they know, they will never forget.
Yeah, that they remember that you don't even remember, and then they remember things that haven't even happened yet. So you've got to get ready for that.
Well, you just mentioned how that the things that men, when they marry women, they don't expect them to change. They want them to stay the same. Women want their men to change.
Yeah,
I was just saying, if any of you have seen my Facebook postings of late, I found some old pictures. One of them from 2006. So what is that now? That's 17 years ago. Of Rainey in a very low cut top, but crawling toward me across the bar top. We had a bar in our house, and there's a crowd. It was for my birthday, and she's crawling over to me, smiling, and it's a very, very cool picture for many reasons. But as a guy, she was crawling.
It's a lot less sexy.
She was crawling over to me. She was crawling over because she wanted to be by me. She wanted to be near me. She probably wanted to do me on the end of the bar in front of 50 people. That's at least where my mind was telling me at the time.
I was behind the bar that night. And I don't remember it that way.
Hot woman that wanted me.
And
crawling across the bar to me, looking very fetching in her low-cut shirt. And yet, what do nowadays? 17 years later, I'm like, Hey, you want to
Get
do
off
that
the
bar
bar. You're
thing
going to
again?
knock a glass over. What are you doing?
Yeah, she's like, no, that's impractical. My knees hurt more. And, no, you don't need me doing that. It's like, yeah, I really do. And, so I expect that she's going to stay the same, that all men were like that. We're going to stay the same. And I don't mean to put this and don't take this the wrong way or misinterpret me, that I'm not being funny sexual, or trying to be with this. I mean, men, they like the sexuality they had with their wives when they met them and they were dating. And women aren't now. I don't know what exactly turns that switch in marriages or long-term relationships. It's not that that's not there anymore. It's that I don't need to do
Words
that.
I
like I
do.
did
Once you say
17
that,
years
the
ago.
wheels turn.
Scotty,
I've had 3 kids.
that's a huge generalization you just said.
It's a
there.
huge generalization.
That's what men think.
But there's a reason it's a generalization.
Yeah,
because
generalizations come from something.
When you have
Every
stereotype,
cliche has a reason.
That's right. When you have stereotypes, there's a reason behind that stereotype. There is some empirical data that indicates that that's kind of a general, and you can say generalization. It is a general trend.
I agree.
And
I agree.
That's one of the unfortunate things.
But
there was
Scotty, if you don't mind me saying so, you made it sound like all men think this about their wives.
Oh, no. I thought I
this.
stated in there, this is a generalization or something like that.
There's a great joke.
One thing I want to say, getting back to what you were saying, Professor, is that I always find this very funny, is that the difference between men and women, men are stupid and women are neurotic. It's as simple as that. If you think about it, men can be very stupid in most situations, and men and women can be neurotic in most situations as well. So it comes down to emotions. Women can be extremely neurotic emotionally, how they relate to men or how they perceive men should be acting, and they can be hysterical in such a way that the man is like, what the hell am I supposed to say now? And the man is always portrayed as this stupid character who didn't see this coming. Where did this come from? Why is my wife screaming at me? In the middle of the kitchen about a wet towel.
That we men, when we hear our women saying things to us or screaming at us, we're like, I'm supposed to solve this problem now. So I'm thinking in the back of my brain, all this emotion, all this bile, all this vile, licentious nastiness coming out of my wife about something. I'm supposed to be solving this problem, right? She's not just raging to blow steam. She wants me to be the white knight, to ride in and fix her problems. And there's my first misconception.
Herein lies the problem. Women are brought up with a bunch of lies. First of all, their fathers tell them they're princesses. Second of all, society tells them to wait for their Prince Charming. All these things are lies.
And then the beauty magazines and all the stuff that give them all these.
Because the reality is, you're not a princess. Prince Charming isn't going to come, and all those other lies. They don't exist. And we have to blame that on us, because we as fathers we
I
see
could
our
have been
little girls
single
as
and been
princesses,
something, but you ruined my body, gave me 3 children. I'm stuck here now. It's like, wait. That's what you showed me.
She sucked those children out of you. That's not the same thing.
That's it.
That's a lot of resentment.
I didn't give those children up willingly all by myself.
Yeah. Another kind of joke I'll give you, right? The difference between men and women is like, say a guy goes into a shower, right? A guy has a shower, and he has a great shower and throws the wet towel on the tile floor and walks out. Right?
Okay.
His wife comes home and she walks into the bathroom to go to the toilet, and she finds the wet towel on the floor. Now, for a woman, that's a complete meltdown. That's like this does not compute. A wet towel on the floor. We're not in a hotel. This is the bathroom. Why is a wet towel on the floor? It's complete freak out time. So she will come out and she will say to the guy, you left the towel on the bathroom floor, the wet towel. how could you do that? How could you possibly even think that was okay to leave the wet towel on the floor? Now, no matter how you cut it, that's neurotic behavior, right? Now, the guy, this is a joke, right? And it's been repeated many times. What were you thinking by just throwing the wet towel on the floor? This is unbelievable. And the guy says, well, I called my friend about this, and he just said that was the best place for it because it wouldn't really work in the hallway.
Right.
There's another one that
the only time I throw towels on the floor is in a hotel, because that way
you get
the
the
maid
point.
knows those are dirty.
The maid service knows.
Otherwise, I
you
hang
gotta
them.
wash them.
I hang them up.
You know, I had an experience back when I was married, and we had the two girls, and they were little, and we had, you know what it's like when you have kids and little, you got stuff everywhere. And I'm in the bedroom one day, and my wife looks down at the floor, and she sees my underwear on the floor. And she stops me and looks at me, and she says, "Are these yours?" And I look around, and I think, well, if they're not, I've got some questions.
Are these yours?
Why would you even have to ask that question? Have other
Yeah, I
men
mean,
been here?
these are my underwear. Why would you ask? But see, that's one of the things that women have an incredible ability to do, is ask the obvious, which for us men is incredible. It tweaks us. We're just like, well, why?
Here's a recent one for you. Did you leave the Lowry seasoned salt out on the counter? No, the 7-year-old did when she was salting her Fruity Pebbles. You know, stuff like, did you leave that out? Or they made a meme out of this. I thought this was classic. The woman says, "Are those your clothes laying in a pile heap on the floor?" And I'll say, "No, that's the Jedi I struck down." And she responds, "God, I hate you." I said, "Yes, use your hate."
Feel the hate, come to the dark side. Feel the anger.
Feel the anger. Oh, the Emperor in Star Wars, he was Scottish. You could tell. Because his Scottish accent slips through every now and then. Remember in Return of the Jedi, when Luke is standing in front of the Emperor, and he's on his big throne. He's on his big throne thing. And out the window, you see the battle going on. And he's got Luke's lightsaber, and it's on the arm of his chair, and he keeps patting it. And he says, yes, your lightsaber. And he says, "Take it up, strike me down with it." Like that. And I went, "Oh, that's Scottish. Strike me down with it." Strike me down with it. So he's got a Scottish accent.
So this couple was at dinner, and
sure, just move on. Like that was a non-story. I got it. Go ahead. You go ahead.
Yeah. Another Star Wars thing.
I'm not hurt.
You were saying that
Star Wars, like
Star Wars. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So there was a couple at dinner, and you know they'd been married for 30, 40 years, and they're sitting there, and the waitress comes up, and she's quite fetching. And the wife,
as waitresses do,
the wife noticed, I think they were at Hooters. The wife notices that he's paying attention to her, and he says something about, "Yes, beautiful young lady, I'd like to order something to drink." And the wife speaks up and says, "Yes, and make sure that he tells you about his erectile dysfunction." And the husband looks up at the waitress and said, "This is Janice, my erectile dysfunction wife."
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Because I think, you know, that's one of the things that, at least in my observation, you know, this whole ED thing is I've only seen it pop up in the last 15, maybe 20 years. And prior to that,
that's a sign that you have it.
Pops up, right? But I've never before that, I never really heard about anything like that. And I seriously think that some of that issue that men have, particularly later in life, is particularly when men who have been married for a long time. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that their partner just doesn't do it for them anymore, and it works both ways. I think that works for women as well.
It's quite obvious. It's quite obvious that will happen though to a man. I mean, as a man gets older, he may be looking at his wife, or he may all of a sudden not be interested. Men have body parts that need to kind of go like this.
But
yep,
I will
women
tell you
have body parts that don't need to do anything. So if a man doesn't do this, nothing's going to happen, right?
I also
that doesn't mean he has erectile dysfunction. That just means I'm not really in the mood for sex.
I'm sorry. I'm not trying to interrupt, Niall. I'm anxious to say what I wanted to say rather than interrupt. But otherwise, I'd just muted your mic and gone ahead like I do to Dave sometimes.
He does me all the time.
Oh, he's gone. Oh, there he is. But I think some of that comes from where there is a disconnect sexually. Or as people get older, we get older. I don't find my wife attractive anymore. I happen to find my wife very attractive. My wife, maybe she doesn't think I'm as attractive as I was when she met me 18 years ago. Probably not. But I think the only reason I believe that kind of thing happens in a relationship is because you don't keep close in all the other areas. It doesn't matter. I know people that aren't attractive. They probably aren't as attractive to each other as they were 30 years ago. But those people are so close and so intimate that doesn't matter. That's not the thought in their heads. They're not like, oh, well, I don't have sex with her. She's not as pretty as she was 30 years ago.
That's the point.
Or vice versa, from the woman to the man. Oh, yeah, he can't get it up like he used to. I just don't know. I don't know about but you know what compensates for that? That you're both growing old together. Growing old together.
And that's worth much more than the actual
that intimacy. And there are things I think I possess with Rainey that I strive for, and I have spent my whole life trying to get, is that intimacy that is on a deeper level than just the superficial bullshit of being married and being together. I mean, when you're married and you got 3 kids and you're 17, pushing 18 years into the relationship, you think, I don't think this is working. It's like, what's not working? Well, I gotta kind of move on now, and I've had enough of this, and we gave it our best go for 18 years. It's like, where you got somewhere else to go?
Your time hasn't come yet. It's as simple as that, Scotty. Your time hasn't come yet.
Well, there's also the whole
you're unusual
of marriage.
You're unusual in that you're an elder man who has very young children. That doesn't happen really.
Yeah.
So you unfortunately will be 70 years old before you will get to that stage where
I'll be 72 when my youngest graduates from high school.
Yeah, which is it's just the way the cookie crumbled for you, So when you get to that companionship stage that you're talking about with Rainey, you'll be an elderly man, and that's just the way it is. Because right up your youngest daughter will not be flying the coop for quite a number of years. And by the time you two sit on the front porch and actually just look at each other and go, hey, it's just you and me now. And let's just...
just you and me, babe.
Yeah.
And go do it on the refrigerator again.
Yeah.
It'll give you a half hour to get in the house.
The whole concept of marriage is something that is got a lot of baggage, and it's a construct from, basically mostly from theology, different belief systems. And I remember back right after I got divorced back in it was like 2001, 2002.
Right on, Amanda.
I started to have the idea that what we need to do is to lease relationships, and instead of having these, till death do us part kind of thing, because that's one of the things, like you were saying, now people change over time.
Yeah.
And there is more, I think it's probably more regular in general that people, they don't necessarily grow apart because they're not into each other anymore. They become different people. And that's where the real magic happens, when you have these long-term relationships. And it's the same thing with belief systems. People, there's, for example, when I had my Pentecostal ministry back in the 80s, I was big time into that. I was beating people over the head with the Bible and telling them that they had to go accept Christ or they were going to hell. Well, I grew out of that, fortunately, and eventually became a Taoist. And I got out of this constructed belief system that said, this is the way you have to be if you're going to be a good person, and B, be a good person with someone else. And so I started to realize, in fact, my ex-wife and I, once we were divorced, we were better friends when we were divorced than when we were married.
Absolutely. I agree.
And I think that's something.
I had the same experience. Yeah.
I don't think people appreciate that change that people go through. And like I said, at 65, I mean, I've seen shit and gone through all kinds of different things, and gone through one iteration after another on all kinds of different beliefs and thoughts and so forth. And that is the magic of the journey. The magic is in the mind and in the growth and in the change that we all go through. And if you try to stifle that, because of a belief system, because of a construct, then that doesn't do you or your partner any good at all. You're not growing together. You're growing against each other as you go along. And
yeah, absolutely, Professor. And I'll give you a very personal example, if I may. My father and my mother, they've been separated quite a long time now. But my father was always obsessed with this idea of the fact that he had to be sexually aroused by my mother. And my mother was a simple country girl from the west of Ireland. She didn't know much about sex, she wasn't, but my father was obsessed with it. This came out in later years, but I was aware of this when I was a child, because my father used to buy really inappropriate presents for my mother at Christmas time, which is now like leather mini skirts, and put it under the tree. And I'd be like, what's this? Yeah. And my mother like, oh, this is wonderful. Just what I always wanted. My father was like, trying to
spiked collar. I was always looking for one of these, honey.
Yeah. Trying to spice things up, trying to spice things up.
A whip. Nice.
But all that did was cause a huge division between my father and my mother, because my father was driven by his sexual desire, and you have to look like a French fancy cake, or you have to dress a certain way, and so he was obsessed with this. And of course, the whole marriage was a complete disaster, and it didn't do me or my sister any favors either, because we were in the middle of it. But my poor mother who was not really that into sex in the first place. She wasn't a sexual being, whereas my father was trying to make up for his own inadequacies in his own mind by trying to dress my mother up like a starlet, like a New Orleans hooker in front of his children, was extremely inappropriate. But at the time, of course, we thought nothing of it. So he used to come back and buy these huge things, these fur coats and mini skirts from my mother. My mother wasn't into it, but my father just couldn't accept it. So what happened then was my father went on to have multiple affairs, which my mother kept silent, even though we all knew about it, because he has to get his rocks off somewhere else. Obviously, I'm not doing it for him. So, you know, I've nowhere to go. This is my mother speaking in her own mind. So I guess I better let him go and do that, you know. And so he was driven by that to the extent that it split the whole family apart. It split us right down the middle. It just kind of totally destroyed everything, destroyed my relationship with my father for 10 years. I couldn't look at that man without punching him in the face. Yeah, because he had so many affairs and hurt my mother so much and caused so much damage. In another side of it, I couldn't look at my mother either because I was like, how could you let that go on? You know, when we were kids, right in front of our faces, you know, we knew what was going on. You know, oh, yeah, my mother was like, yeah, but we didn't think you noticed, you know. So sex, that's why my philosophy on sex is like, it could be massively divisional. I'm being generalizing as well.
Sure.
But it's not a driving force in any relationship. It can't be. The driving force in any relationship has to be the companionship between two people. It's not like, if you don't give me this, I won't give you that. You know, it can't be this. And sex, you know, I think it was Pat Benatar, Robert, you would know this. She had this song in the 80s called "Sex is a Weapon." You know, stop using sex as a weapon. So my mother and my father used this sex thing as a kind of a weapon, and we were in the middle of it, you know, because she wouldn't give him what he wanted, and he wouldn't give her peace of mind just to be who she was. So there was like turmoil, all because of a sexual act, you know. Whereas, and in the middle of all that, they never got to speak to each other. So, you know,
I'll tell you something.
They had nothing in common at all. So that's why I think, if you can get past, that's why I've always had the philosophy that sex is completely overrated.
Sure.
For a short time,
and for some people, I think it's incredibly overrated. I will say this: I'm as red-blooded as the next male that's out there.
Sure.
I was going to say American male, but we're not all American here. We all have desires. We all have sexual desires. Do I desire my wife on a sexual basis? Sure, I do. I'm a red-blooded American male. There's some days I look at my wife and I'm like, fuck, I am a lucky man. Come on, let's have sex. But I will also say this. There are times, and maybe some manly men out there will look at this and go, oh, I can't believe you just said that. But sometimes it's not about just the sex act. Sometimes I just like my wife to be close. I like the intimacy of closeness. And words that men don't usually use, like cuddle. Hey, Professor Bauer, what kind of beer you want? Okay, hey, 2 for us. Say, did you get any cuddles in today, Professor? You know, that's not the things we guys usually talk about.
No, but I got a spooning in.
But I did get a spooning, front or back. So,
what he's leaving out,
John and I always joked around about was
what he's leaving out is sometimes he reaches for a cross and a wooden stake and some garlic too.
Oh, dude! Yeah, sometimes, what do you think I keep a crucifix over there? Not because I'm Catholic, but there are those moments, you know. But I'm a very tactile person. I like when Rainey's sitting here doing the show with me on whatever day it is. I usually have my hand on her knee. Why? Because I like touching my wife. I like the touch and the feel of absorbing energy through touch, or sharing energy through touch. I like when my wife is doing stuff in the house. She cooking. I'll come up behind her and I'll put my arms on her. I'll give her a kiss on the back of the neck. Sometimes I grab her boobs. Sometimes I don't.
That's one of the things that I think is one of the psychological impacts of some of these, you know, belief systems that regulate and regiment the way that we are supposed to conduct and interact with one another. For example, I became a shiatsu practitioner, which is the massage therapist, essentially, back in the mid 80s. That's how I met the mother of my children. We were in class, and we were classmates. We practiced on each other. Next thing you knew, we were moving to Chicago from California, getting married and having kids. And I was like, massage to me, the touch and being able to have that physical interaction is extremely, it's like music to me. It's very, very powerful. Mm-hmm. But most manly men that are red-blooded American males like Scotty and I and Dave,
whatever you are, and Professor Bauer,
and you are as well.
Irishmen don't get it.
I'm not a red-blooded. I'm not a red-blooded anything. You know, it's like sexuality to me is not red-blooded anything. You know, I'm not.
Well, there it is. There's some very fascinating.
I've been there. I've been there when Scotty comes up and grabs Rainey from behind, and what I usually hear is a 7-year-old going, "Ew, ew, don't touch my mom like that."
Yeah, one of the things that's happened not only in the theological realm, where you have these people that, you know, have different systems that they say this is how how you two people get together and have children and procreate and go forth and make good people and all this other stuff. You have similar studies in science where, you know, the whole Darwinism approach about evolution. And a lot of things that people don't realize is Darwin, a lot of his research was based on what's called spreading selfish genes, okay? Which, when you break it down, is men produce millions of sperm a day. Women produce an egg a month. So you have this very precious resource that women produce. So they are very selective and choosy and choosing the mate that they want to impregnate that egg with to have children.
RBD. Thank you.
Men, on the other hand, are just, you know, we have this need to spread selfish genes because we make so much of them, right? Yes. And so you have this overlap of theology and science where there is a correlation to just the biological way in which we function, the way in which we are different. You know, and a simple thing is, I don't think people realize this, or think about it, but when you think about it, you realize that it's true. In the act of sex, there is only one of the two people involved that needs to have an orgasm for procreation to occur.
Yeah.
And so biologically, that's the way our mechanistic system actually functions. So, you know, then you get into all the stereotypes about women faking orgasms all the time, and men like, I don't have to fake an orgasm. I have no problem having orgasm.
You know, when a guy, right? It's like
you make a great point, Robert, in that theologically speaking, you didn't mention one thing is shame, you know. Mm-hmm. And that's very prevalent in the Christian tradition of sexual communion between man and woman. You know, have as much sex as you like, but don't enjoy it. You know.
It's like, how does that work? I have.
That's very British of you. That's very British of you, Niall.
Don't take pleasure out of it. You know, it's just for procreation. No, that's a very Catholic tradition. It's a kind of a, you're not supposed to take pleasure out of the act itself. It's purely for procreation. That would be the Catholic tradition and a lot of the Christian traditions. Now, both of you on either side of me are ex-pastors, so you should know exactly what I'm talking about.
We do.
Yes, indeed. I mean...
shame-based stuff, you know. It's like you can have 20 kids, but, you know, it doesn't mean, you know, we were having orgies in our house every night, right. You know, and I had my wife on the kitchen table, you know. Oh, no. It's all about procreation, you know.
I grew up in the 60s and 70s in Southern California, where the original liberal ideology had, come together, and the whole thing was screw the man, leave us alone, and free love
Didn't
and
recognize that,
drugs. Okay. And that's what I was, indoctrinated with as I was growing up. And then I tripped into the whole Pentecostal Christian thing and did the speaking in tongues, laying on of hands, casting out devils, healing the sick, all this shit. And then I stumbled out of that into the fundamental side of it, and then began my spiritual journey trying to figure out what the hell is it. I was looking for something that was going to explain my experience in the most coherent way. And as I went through all the belief systems, I couldn't find anything until I found Taoism, which doesn't have any hierarchy at all. It's about being one with the universe and the ether and the ethereum that you experience. Once I got, and I found that while I was still married, and my children were, they were in their, they just become in adolescence. And so I started to look at everything from that holistic perspective. And I was able to come to grips with my own sexual needs, my own sexual identity, and what that meant to me from a physical, psychological, and biological perspective. My wife, on the other hand, had gone through a complete different divergent, and she was raised Catholic, and then left. She was one of 5 daughters, a second of 5, left the Irish Catholic Democrat Midwest mindset, moved to California, became a Mormon. And she's like, she had all kinds of stuff going on. And that eventually translated into her having multiple instances of cancer. And throughout the last 25 or almost 30 years now, she has come to the realization that her physical ailments were the result of her psychological trauma that she hadn't dealt with from her upbringing, which was
trauma.
Which was Catholic based.
Stupid autocorrect.
Yes.
Yeah. So my point there is that I think that there's a lot that we are kept from in understanding our actual essence of who we are, our biological and our psychological essence. And I think that contributes greatly to a lot of the difficulties and challenges that people have for themselves as well as their relationships.
Well, if I could jump in.
Please.
Yeah, and it's a learning process. It's a learning process till the day we die. Yeah, I'm learning more about this stuff every day. It's like I can kind of put my sexual desires to one space and kind of go, oh, that's fine. It can stay there.
Not me. I wear them right here in my sleeve.
All right. Okay. And it doesn't mean I'm looking for another sexual experience, with another male or any other sexual experience. It just means sex isn't that important. I'm not saying it's not important forever. It's just not important because it's not something that drives me. For example, I've never paid for sexual services in my entire life. It never.
Oh, I have.
Now I know.
I paid my entire marriage.
It's a joke. I
know what you mean. But I know men who can't imagine that. You mean you didn't go a week without sex? Well, God, yeah, I know exactly who to call if I, I'm like, what? Are you that driven by your penis? It makes no sense. It's completely ridiculous. But that's just me. It's not that important. I mean, if it was that important, I mean, I think the whole world would be in turmoil. But I think a lot of people think the same way. It's not such a driving force that we have to spread our seed somewhere, and if we have no girlfriend or no wife at the time, we have to spread it somewhere else quickly because otherwise we're going to implode.
You think biologically, if God created all of that, you sometimes look at all that and you go, oh, wait a minute. Wait. He gave a woman 1 egg, a man 200 million sperm per cc. And so the average male ejaculation is like 500 cc. That's like, wow, that's like a whole nation attacking a guy. And so, and then sometimes it doesn't work, or
Yeah.
you could they can only reach that guy. These millions of sperm can only reach that guy, and on like one day out of the month. And when you accidentally get pregnant, it's because, how did you happen to do it on that one day when those 3 million sperm could get through to that one egg? Wow, what are the odds?
Sterling,
because
Sterling,
God is a good
you were going to
gambler.
say
He's a good
something.
gambler. Simple as that.
Sterling, you were going to say something.
Well, on the subject, speaking of sex, this will only take 3 minutes.
Okay.
That sounds familiar.
We've heard that before.
I studied a lot of, Professor Bauer said that he studied a certain field and he started seeing it through those lenses. And I kind of did the same thing. I studied a lot of chemistry, and I know that there's a lot more psychologically and biologically and stuff that goes into this whole process. Is complicated, but I tend to look at the chemistry of it. And at age, at least, well, even by 30 or 35, men start losing their testosterone. And, you can tell a big difference if your testosterone drops and your sex drive, for example. So I suggest that all men over 30 take a testosterone replacement. Probably.
Is that like a testosterone smoke? Was that what that was?
It looked like testosterone climax.
You can inject it on there. You can inject it. You can rub it on topically. There's all the different types of forms of it. But my experience is that if you have the chemistry of a 19-year-old, you feel like a 19-year-old. And then therefore you are just as, in this example, driven, I'll say, for to want to have sex and stuff like that. So, and I know that there's a lot more that goes into it, but for example, in those Cialis commercials that I used to see, first of all, get in the same bathtub. Like they're in separate bathtubs. Like, first of all, what you want is get in there and get in there. So, I mean, chemistry. If you want to talk about it offline, let me know.
Yeah,
well, I got to tell you, again, I'm 65.
All the guys,
I have no testosterone problems. I have regular weekly redwood mornings. I mean, I've never had any issues there, but I know that it is biologically and chemically something that does occur. And I think that a lot of that, again, has a lot to do with psychology. It's the way that you think, right? The magic is in the mind. And I think that, a lot of those things can be changed and altered by the way you think.
There it is. It's I hail back to Spock in the old Star Trek series. And not one of the best episodes out there, but Spectre of the Gun, if you remember that one, where they're reliving the OK Corral. And do you remember that episode? Anyone? Star Trek?
Oh yeah,
anyone?
yeah.
Sorry, Niall, I got you with Star Wars first. Now I'm hitting you with Star Trek.
No, and, I'm not that. I'm not that dude. Yeah.
It's like
go ahead.
Spock. He's doing the mind meld with everyone at the end.
Yeah.
This is the way they found they could overcome this thing reading their mind and creating this environment and reenactment. And he's doing the mind meld, and he says, "Remember, the bullets are not real, not real." And so on. He's going through the whole thing. So that mind over matter thing.
Yes.
I only bring up the Spock example because that is an episode when I was a little kid that made me first think about the phrase mind over matter. And that's why it comes up from such a pop cultural spark early on in life. But that's come to my mind many, many times, that idea of putting your mind over what is there.
Well, that's in the Matrix when the little kid tells Neo that there is no spoon.
There is no spoon. Yes.
Right. And there is the power of the mind. And that's my whole quest and the place that I'm in now is, and I've been for a number of years because of my own personal experience of consciousness and being able to see things manifest. And the manifestation, the power of the mind is truly one of the secrets, one of the suppressed pieces of knowledge that has been carried along by secret societies and mystic schools and the mystic arts. And that once that's unleashed back into and it's kind of dangerous because there's a lot of people who aren't going to be ready for the understanding of the power of the mind, and it's going to send them over the edge, and they're going to do some crazy shit trying to go down that path, which is one of the reasons that it's been suppressed. But the real power of our beings is that mind, is that consciousness. And you can literally manifest and change things and materialize things if you develop that power, that connection with the mind.
It's the force.
It is the force. That is
the tree.
There's more truth to that than people realize. And thank God Lucas threw that in there to at least awaken a few.
There you go. Well, guys, I hate to say it. It's 11:15. It's like 15 minutes past my bedtime.
It's been a pleasure.
I haven't heard my wife.
Interesting conversation.
Our mission accomplished.
Screaming out my name, pining for my presence.
Thank you, Brother Dave. I appreciate that. I saw your message in the chat, and I said, okay, I'll wait till 3 minutes in. And I thought, nah, I'll go ahead and jump in now.
It's supposed to be 3 minutes before the end of the show. That's Professor Bauer's best moves. All right, I appreciate you all. Some of you didn't get to talk quite as much. Sterling, sorry you didn't get to say quite as much, but it was fun having you. Maybe you're observing for your comedy routines. I don't know. Oh, man, I got good material here. It's a bunch of assholes.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. And I absorbed a lot. I've never been married, too. I want to sneak that in there.
Oh.
And, I've never been married, and the way we describe it here, it kind of scares me. I don't know if I ever will. I'm not I'll
marriage is not bad.
I've been engaged 5 times.
It's much
are great.
Engagements are great. I don't mind marriage at all. It doesn't bother me at all. I don't. Boy, that's a real speaking up of marriage. How do you feel about marriage, Mr. Roberts? That doesn't bother me much. That's not how I meant that. But marriage is okay. I like it. I like being married to my wife. I like being with my wife. I enjoy my wife.
I enjoyed marriage.
I'd axe murder my wife rather than spend another minute with her, but I haven't done that yet. So so marriage is okay.
Well, did you know that the leading cause of divorce is marriage?
Is marriage?
Yes.
Yeah.
And a lack of good chemistry. And if there's anybody out there listening,
no, we had great chemistry. That wasn't the thing.
Okay. Hey, cheers, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Sarah, who did not join us in the conversation tonight, said,
never too late.
I wish I could wash my mind right now. So, Sarah, you got a couple of minutes. We'll hang on for you if you want to come in. Give us a piece of your mind, your unwashed mind.
Every sperm is great.
See, that's what happens when the guys get in and start talking about testosterone and relationships and sex and that stuff. It's like the women are sitting there in the background going, is this the way these guys talk when we're not
What
around?
the hell?
Yes.
What's the matter with these guys? Is this what all guys talk about? Yeah.
Is this the way they are? Yes, that's
Hey,
how
Paige.
we are.
Is this why there's so many unmarried men in the world?
Could be.
Got 4 examples right there.
I don't, and it's probably societally affected by meaning the culture you're in, the society you're living in, because many of the problems you see that men and women talk about each other are usually driven by the kind of culture we have, what goes on, well, who we hang with, what we do in our spare time, how we shop for food, how we hang with our friends. All those things affect the way we view our marriages. And I don't know I'm not even going to go there because I'm starting to open up a can of worms that could take a lot of conversation. But I know every other culture has a different thing that's going on. But at the core of it, when you're married, you work toward. I don't know. I don't see the Maasai out on the great Serengeti plains in Africa doing their dances with their spears and their hunting thing, and the guy going, "Man, I can't go hunting today, Nguba. I cannot go hunting today because my wife wants me to stay home and fix the hovel." It just doesn't happen.
Well, one thing I can tell you that
he's never going to give a divorce because he's never going to give up half his cattle.
Well, that's it.
Exactly. Well, the one thing I can, that when I've looked at history and tried to understand how different cultures and societies and civilizations have managed the relationship thing. These dudes that had multiple wives and concubines, and harems and all of that, I'm like, I don't know how in the hell they pulled that off. I mean, that to me would be something that I'd say, no thanks, but no thanks. I mean, as much spreading of selfish gene as I may have an inclination to do, I couldn't imagine being intimate with that many different women.
I couldn't imagine
at one time.
700 wives.
I just don't get it.
Scott and I both have a mutual friend who has 2 wives, and
we do.
And I'm just like, I have no idea why, dude, because one was enough. I mean, like
I couldn't imagine more than one. No.
We were talking to him Rainey and I were talking to him on the phone the other day, and he's a pretty strong dude. He is former military police, former police, tough guy, intelligence, all of this kind of stuff.
Do they all live together?
They do.
Yeah.
Wow. And the wife, one of the wives is like a high-paying 6-figure job in banking or something, and the other one is something, and so it's like you look at that, and Rainey and I were talking to him, and I said, "Dude, how do you do that?" He goes, "I like boobs, man." That was his first answer, and we all laughed.
It's a kinky arrangement. Some
he's got
people
kids
like
with both of them.
Arrangement.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
why not? It doesn't mean he's a Mormon, or anything like that.
Yeah.
It just means that
definitely not a Mormon.
He's not a Mormon. He's a pagan priest.
Whoa.
Well, there you go. Yeah, so he's a cult leader, in other words.
Yeah.
More or
I
less.
wouldn't say that.
He would. He would.
You know what I mean?
He's got his own cult going on there.
I'm gonna take off my robe now, ladies. Please gather at my feet. So.
Yeah.
I just want to point out we had 5 men on here tonight, 4 of which have been through divorce.
Mm-hmm.
One of which wasn't, because he's never been married. So he just hasn't gotten there yet.
That tells you
give
something.
Him time. Just
like
give
I
him
said,
time.
Marriage is a leading cause of divorce. So, there you go.
And Scotty's been married 4 times.
3. So
3? Did I miss one?
Yeah.
Oh, you added one.
We don't talk about that. We don't talk about the one who's buried in the backyard.
Yeah. Oh, that would be 4, 5, 7, and 8. So,
okay, I'm gonna go. So, always a pleasure, guys. Professor Bauer.
Yes.
I'd like to hook up with you at some stage, just have a chat, if you don't mind. So,
absolutely, anytime. Just hit me up on the Facebook Messenger, and we'll go from there.
And we could have a chat, because I'd be interested about your ideas about a few things about what you talked about tonight. Okay,
sure.
All right, guys.
All right, gentlemen.
See you, Niall.
See you, Niall. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Dave.
Care.
All right, guys.
It's been a pleasure as always.
Yep,
it
always
has been.
Yeah.
And Professor Bauer, I almost called you Uncle Bauer, and Dave, Professor Dave.
Hey, you can switch us around. I think that neither one of us would have a problem with that.
Probably not. Well, Sarah Yusuf said it's like watching a nature documentary. I told her, I said, you should come and join us. And she goes, no, thanks.
No, thanks. Yeah.
And then the next phrase was, it's like
the question is, was it like a Mutual of Omaha? I'll stay in the bushes while Fred.
I'll stand in the bushes while Brett wrestles the 300-pound type.
Or was it like Attenbauer? Here we have on the natural Serengeti 5 males seeking the lioness.
Serengeti.
The one lone female that lurks in the bush with her own bush.
But she would not be lonely for long. Because
oh, good Lord.
Yeah, there it is.
We'll have to do one of these with some alcohol involved. Do some
was I
shots.
supposed to be drinking tonight?
Do some shots and just kind of let it rip and do maybe bring your best joke night.
Before you go, how was your show Thursday night? have you started your new show?
My show.
Yeah.
Oh, I start next week.
Oh, next week. Okay.
I've done some live streams and testing. I've got my StreamYard set up and I've figured out how to get it to all my channels. And then I realized that I've got shit scattered all over the place. I've got like 5 YouTube channels. And so what I was going to do was just launch the Nexus Nextcast and then, continue doing some live streams on the Professor Bauer channel. But then I thought, you know what? I just need to do my own website. So I was able to secure robertbauer.com. Nice. So I'm putting my voiceover, my mind tracks, my music, my Between the Ears, which is another channel that I do for music, explore different new artists and so forth. And then my Intuitive Sound Label channel. And I said, shit, I'm just going to put it all on one website so that I can just go stream there and let it go out and not have to worry about the, all the censorship. But the other thing I did is I jumped onto Twitter and I've been tweeting the shit out of this and that and everything else because it seems to be kind of fun. I've had an account on there for, I don't know, 10 years or so, maybe as long as it's been around, never used it.
Yeah,
and
same here.
Once Musk got on there, I said, well, I'm going to go poke around and see what's happening. And I tell you what, it's a big old free-for-all going in there right now, and I'm enjoying it. Yeah, there is.
So now, is this something that I can listen to? Well, because Thursday I'm usually behind the wheel, and so I'm like, I don't want to go into a transcendental state while I'm driving.
Well, that's the mind tracks where the meditation and music is. You don't want to do that while you're driving.
I am driving 75 miles down the road.
I have navigated successfully without any visual.
I have navigated successfully past 3 exits that I should have.
It's just like one of those video games. I'm outside the car watching me go down the high. Oh, now I'm in the cornfield.
It's like an out-of-body experience.
Well, I'm in the cornfield. Oh, now I'm back on the road.
And I could not take scratch to my car.
So the thing that you can listen to is what I'm doing with the Nexus is I've got interviews, but the main thing I'm going to be doing is news segments. So I'm going to be focusing on independent content creators, people that are not necessarily in the mainstream. And I'm going to be doing 6 to 10 minute bites of different people and what they're doing out there so that people like Scotty can stay awake while they're doing, live shows.
I don't know what. I think that was just me. It was all me. It wasn't you.
Watch the pendulum. Wow. You're getting sleepy. Your eyes are getting heavy.
Yeah.
Listen to my voice. And
Professor Bauer is Professor Bauer is saying goodbye.
Now, you know
we're all going away.
I am so tired. I'm tired all the time. But I had high energy all today. Comes to the show and I'm like, oh man, I'm dragging. And but it was okay during the show because Rainey came in, it got a little animated. And now that I'm ready to fall asleep where I sit, I'm gonna turn the show off. I'm gonna go to bed and I'm gonna lay there and stare at the ceiling for an hour.
Yep. Yep.
Like,
I hear you.
Hell? So all right, you boys.
All right, gentlemen. Thank you again. It's been an honor and a pleasure as always.
It's been an honor and a pleasure for me. See you later, Professor. And Dave, same to you, brother.
All right. Take it easy, bro.
Get thee hence. And see, that's all it took. All right, guys. Thank you for being here. I appreciate your time. And for giving your time to me. It means a lot to me. So we're going to get out of here now. It's that time. It's that time of night. It is now 11:28. Somehow the end of the show extended a half hour when I said once again, I said to Rainey, I said, I don't think before the show, I said, I don't think I'm going to do a captain's cabin tonight. Here we are an hour and a half after the show ends. So I appreciate you being here, putting up with us. Sarah, next time we'll try to give you a show where you don't feel so zoological around us. or anthropological. All right, you guys. You all have a good night. We'll see you back here, tomorrow afternoon at 4 p.m. with Wendy Robertson and me for Robertson. And we'll see you back then. Have a good night and live long and prosper.